The whole world knows that Donald Trump won the 2020 election, Nancy.
Nancy, Trump won.
We all know
Trump
it.
won.
The whole world knows. You're a fraud.
You're a fraud, Nancy.
But I tell you, you should be ashamed of yourself.
You're not welcome here.
Boo!
Scum! Scumbag! Scum!
Pelosi,
Shame on you!
shame on you.
You're not welcome here! Go home!
Where's all the children,
Go-
Nancy?
Get back to Epstein's Island!
Trump.
Get back to Jeffrey Epstein's penal island, Nancy! We're all on to you!
Trump. Trump.
Get back to the penal island!
Trump. Criminals. You've got no
Criminals!
murderers.
Psychopaths! Pedophile psychopaths! We all know Trump won! The world knows Trump won!
Jesus is coming for you, Nancy!
Where's the children?
Repent!
Nancy!
Nancy, repent.
Ashamed of yourself, you disgusting human being! Get out of that house! We do not want you here!
Get back to Epstein Island!
Pedophiles. Satanic clones. Pedophiles.
Well, yes, they are.
Pedophiles.
So, welcome to the program, folks. Just so you guys know, I'm feeling a little under the weather. I've been in bed most of the day, and I've got aches and pains here. So, we're going to try to go an hour, whether we are or not. I can't tell you. And, Waylon, are you a member of KLW World News? I keep seeing you pop up here, there, and yonder, and was wondering. Yeah, Scrap. There you go. So let's start out with the big news. So they're at it again. Here is Lockheed Martin HC-130J Super Hercules aircraft number 2004 U.S. Coast Guard. And where are they headed? Well, it sure looks like they're headed to San Antonio again. This is the same aircraft that hauled Haitians from Del Rio yesterday to El Paso, along with its sister airship 2003. Had a call with the governor's office this morning about this, advising them that these aircraft, even though they were told that folks were going to be returned to Haiti, they were not. They were flown to El Paso. Let's see what else we've got here for you guys. Bunches of stuff. This is all of the military traffic that is flying globally, supposedly. This is the bird that we have in question here. We're going to track it again through the show here this evening. No, he's too high. I thought that was going to be interesting for Rex there. So, let's see. So, yeah, after they drop off, so they fly out of San Antonio here. I'll show you guys on the map. So, they fly out of San Antonio. They fly over to Del Rio. They pick up a bunch of Haitians. They fly them up here and fly into the airport. In fact, let's see what tarmac he came out of. Interesting. Oh, yeah, he was there. This is where he started up. This is the facility. So, yeah, he was at the CBP facility again. So, yeah, this is a regular thing for them. We're going to start watching this regularly. So, and also, folks, so this is yet another one of our alternate channels here, or alternative channels that we can go to on the platform. Well, no, we don't know that they're flying to Florida there, Katie. We're not aware of that. All we've seen is the flights to from San Antonio to Del Rio and then up to El Paso. and then they fly back to San Antonio. So where they're going to take them after that, we don't know. They don't want to risk another bus being hijacked like the one the other day, so they're flying all of them now. Oh, you guys are seeing Isadot? Oh, I'm sorry, guys. This is what happens when you've got 3 monitors and you're not used to having to change back and forth here. My bust. Like I said, I'm not feeling good. So, well, thank you, Don. I appreciate that. Yeah, they can be after that, Kelly J. The all I'm saying is the U.S. government said that they were going to take them back to Haiti, and they didn't. They took them to El Paso and gave them cell phones, EBT cards, and put them out in the street. So let's see what else we've got for you folks. Oops. Gotta be careful how I do that. All right, so it looks to me like, remember when we talked about on the show last night that I don't know, was it last night? It might have been the night before. But anyway, I had said that the Russians want the eastern half here. And, we're starting to see assassinations here. We're starting to see more weapons being flown in. These are flown in from the U.S. We've got shelling over here. We've got multinational military exercise 3 days ago. So I think over the winter months that Russia is going to start making it more aggressive in their advance here. The Gazprom has not booked additional capacity for natural gas transportation via Ukraine for October. So that's not a good thing. That's how they keep everything warm, keep the lights on, so on and so forth. So if you cut their gas, that makes everything bad. And then there was an incident down here that I need to investigate because there's a full blackout, even in the port city of Odessa region, since 8/14 after an incident at DTEC. So the question is, they're not saying anything more about the incident. This, to me, looks like more of an attack on the facility than just something naturally happening, because they said incident rather than accident or power failure or whatever. All they're saying on this is incident. These are all indicators to me that Putin's getting ready to do something. This is also the RQ-4 Global Hawk Forte 10 that we tracked over there the other day. So yeah, it's not going to get quiet in Ukraine by any stretch of the imagination, in my opinion. Let's see, what am I missing here? Here we go. Back over into Israel and Palestine. I didn't do anything today, or I'm not covering Afghanistan today because it's just the Taliban doing the Taliban thing. So hackers have attacked the Israelis. Israelis inspecting their troops. More of the Palestinians are attacking. It just continues on. This is from 4 days ago. The Israelis captured some of the folks who had escaped from their prison over there. Let's see, what was the other thing in there? So yeah, let's get into this now. I'm not going to play the Veritas video. We were shut down with a community guideline strike for saying that, for just showing the Project Veritas video. So since we were shut down over there, we're not going to play any of those. We're going to save those for Friday night, and we're going to share those in the chat. So if you guys haven't seen that, we will share that. The newest Project Veritas video. And I don't know if I'm on lowest latency on this one. I think I am. Yeah, it's interesting that that video is still up, but ours is down. You know, it's absolutely insane that they'll let them. I can't tell you if there's a fire out in California, to be honest with you. I haven't, like I said, I've been in bed most of the day. Oh, God, again. Oh, no, that's Marcelo telling me that, but it's old. All right, thank you. Yeah, like I said, I've been in bed most of the day, and my phone is calling people and everything else in my pocket. Anyway, so see, I don't even understand why they're asking us to the part 2 made me mad. See, YouTube is pre-filtering that for us. So, but anyway, where am I at? Like I said, it's been a long day for me. I didn't sleep last night, and I tried to sleep most of the day, but between calls for my vehicle's extended warranty, and then I got a one for seniors discount. Loved that one. So I'm still trying to add wrenches here. But anyway, for those of you who are new to me and haven't known me a long time, years ago, my wife and I, this is before we were married. In fact, I started this before I even got engaged. Christine came and joined me after I was doing it. I had known her previously, but anyway, we built Electric Blue Solar Yacht, which is the largest 100% solar-powered private yacht in the United States. So Electric Blue is our channel that lays out us building the boat, the differences between what it was like when we got it and what it's like now, and our 1,700-mile voyage on solar power. So it's that's what this channel is for. This is actually my wife's channel, but I'm just using it tonight so is that we can stream here live. I set up, and the link is in the top of the chat there. It says Electric Blue Solar Yacht, and then it's the link to KLW World News, and then the number 2, which is going to be another backup channel. So we'll have 4 channels that we can stream on now. Plus, we've loaded up on Rumble, and we're going to do shows there. And then we also have, where is it? I have to go find it. So I got notified today of 2 more additional channels. I signed up for one of them, and hell, I don't even know what it is. Let me go check. They sent me an email to it. So Odyssey is one of them, and the other one is 3 something, and I don't remember. But anyway, the 3 something I wasn't able to do anything with. It's a brand new site, and it's a blockchain, so they cannot take your content down. But it's owned by a friend of mine, and so he suggested that I go sign up over there. So I did, but I haven't done anything with it. But the other one is Odyssey. But the only problem that I'm seeing with Odyssey is that I wasn't able to see a place where I could stream. I can only upload things there. So let me Actually, I can get rid of this for you guys. So let me get back over here to Twitter, which is where you guys are. I need to get rid of this so I can see you guys. Yeah, it's Odyssey. Let me get that back. But yeah, sorry guys. And that's one of the things that a lot of people like Rumble much better than others, and it's not spelled Odyssee. I think, or I don't know. Let me check. I can't remember. It's oh yeah, it is Odyssee. Yeah, Odyssee. And we're KLW World News on Odyssey. And then we're also KLW-World-News on the other channel I signed up for today. And then I also signed us up for something else last night. And we're just at KLW there. You know, I don't know if I like BitChute. A lot of people, I tried to use BitChute as far as somebody trying to watch it, and I had a lot of problems with it. And yeah, remember, you're right. Anything that's juicy needs to go to Rumble, and that's what we're going to do. Is we're going to put the juicy stuff over there and do those shows over there, and that's where we're going to talk about the jab. That's where we're going to talk about the vote and a lot of other things. So anyway, let me get going with what I had for you guys here tonight. Bunches of stuff going on. So there's Falsey. There's our live show from today. Here's the FDA with Mr. Blowdart. Some people call him Soy Boy. I call him Sal Boy. But anyway, Sidney Powell's legal team will depose Eric Comer.
Court in Colorado,
so
which is the first. Can't wait.
Court's going to give you some discovery in that case?
Yeah, actually, the court in Colorado, which is the first case, and that's the one Coomer brought against us, has given us a very short but 2-hour deposition of him before we even get to deciding what's called an anti-SLAPP issue. That's, a whole other legal thing. I won't go into it. But basically, you have a right in Colorado by statute to talk about issues of national importance without being slapped with a defamation lawsuit, which is exactly what we were doing. And there's a hearing on that later this month, but we're going to get the first deposition of Mr. Coomer on September 23rd as it stands now. Awesome. And then we'll get discovery in the Dominion lawsuit sometime after we file our answer on the 24th. And that is going to be where the rubber really meets the road. We are all salivating over that.
I bet. I could.
Can't wait.
Court's going to give you some discovery in that case?
Yeah, actually, the court in Colorado, which is the first case, and that's the one Coomer brought against us, has given us a very short but 2-hour deposition of him before we even get to deciding what's called an anti-SLAPP issue. That's, a whole other legal thing. I won't go into it. But basically, you have a right in Colorado by statute to talk about issues of national importance.
So no, your wrench is not back in the toolbox. It's a new platform, or actually a platform that we haven't operated on, or you haven't operated on. But I'm giving everybody a wrench as I see them. Wanted everybody to see this. This is the governor down on the border again.
Failure to enforce laws that exist in the United States leads to chaos, and chaos leads to inhumanity. The Biden administration is a man-made disaster of inhumanity, of epic proportions. It must end. It must end immediately, and the way to end it is by the Biden administration stepping up and finally enforcing the immigration laws of the United States of America. I'll take a few questions.
Governor, CNN is reporting that there are at least 30,000 Haitian migrants in Colombia right now that may be seeking up north. Can you address your concerns about that? And also, if you can speak to the conversations that your administration is having with the Mexican government about possibly interdicting migrants from Haiti?
Sure. Would you? I missed the first part of your question. Who is saying that?
CNN.
Got it.
Yeah, the Colombian officials are saying that there are about 30,000 migrants and babies.
Right. So there have been reports for a while now about other groups like this that could be coming from other countries. And that's exactly why we are here, because we want anybody who's thinking about coming to Texas, whether it be from Colombia or any other country, that Texas is going to be responding. We have the law enforcement, we have the funding, we have the strategies, whether it be here in Del Rio or any other location on the Texas border. If you are targeting Texas to come to, we're going to show up in force and shut down the border. We're not going to allow the disaster that we saw here in Del Rio to be replicated by additional caravans coming from wherever they may come from.
All right, and here are the StarTrack workers. These are folks who do deliveries all over Australia, and they are on strike because they're trying to force them to get the jab.
2,000 StarTrack workers across Australia have walked off the job in protest for better job security. The workers are demanding work be allocated to existing employees before the company contracts work out. The union has guaranteed the transport of medical supplies and vaccines won't be affected by the strike. Let's bring in Michael Caine now, the National Secretary of the Transport Workers Union. Michael, good morning. So, again, why are you doing it?
Good morning, Pete. Well, yes, right across the country since 12 a.m. this morning, StarTrack workers have been walking off the job. That's drivers, that's people who work in distribution centres. Peter, this is not a stoppage about wages. This is a stoppage about the future for these workers. It's about their job security. What we've seen is management at StarTrack over the last number of years contracting out the work of this workforce. And that's meant, of course, that these workers had a terrible choice to have to make overnight. Were they going to agree to the company's terms and essentially contract out their work? Or were they going to do what they're legally entitled to do, Peter, and that is stand up for their industrial rights, make a point to StarTrack and to the community. The federal government's got a role to play here as well, that good, reliable, secure jobs are what are important for these workers.
Isn't it within StarTrack's right to be able to do what it wants to do, though?
Well, enterprise agreement negotiations are just that. They're negotiations about what the terms and conditions of work should be. And over many, many years, many of these workers have built this company from well before it was owned by Australia Post. Let's not forget the Communications Minister and the Treasurer have a direct role to play here. They have a government business enterprise which is contracting out the work of these workers to lower standards, directly affecting their job security. Now, this is not a wages dispute. Wage increases are no good to you if you don't have a job. And it's not a coincidence either, Peter, that transport companies across the board are making these job security attacks because they are being squeezed by retailers and they're being squeezed by new models like Amazon Flex, which are breaching the law. And the federal government is nowhere to be seen to regulate this market to make sure there's a level playing field. So these workers have bravely stood up today to make a difference for themselves and their families.
What sort of delays can people expect when it comes to deliveries?
You know, these workers, it's a last resort industrial action. No one wants to take industrial action, and of course there is inconvenience when industrial action occurs, and there will be delays today in parcels, and there'll be delays as well as we go into the coming weeks because other companies across the board are making the same job security attacks on workers. And transport workers right across the board and today right across the country in StarTrack are saying enough is enough. We are here for our families, for good, secure, reliable jobs, and we will stand up until we achieve that outcome.
So you're going to protest again? You're going to strike again, I mean?
Well, we've got protected action balance. That is the right to take industrial action has just been achieved at Linfox and BevChain and FedEx with a massive vote in favour of taking action if necessary because these workers know that this is the time that they have to stand up to secure their jobs for the future. No one wants to take industrial action, but when the choice is a permission slip to contract out your work and your family's job security or to stand up for your future, well, that's not really a choice at all, Peter.
Michael Caine, appreciate your time.
I called the EMS unit 25 minutes ago. I got on one of the emergency channels, and the EMS unit was within here.
All right, well, appreciate that there, Frozen. I'll get with you about it here shortly. All right, so the folks who are coming up from Haiti were actually in other countries and had the IDs there of all of these folks that were coming up from the southern countries, and they knew that if they had IDs from countries other than Haiti, that they would not be able to try to get their asylum status. And so they ditched all of these IDs on the southern side of the Rio Grande River there in Del Rio. Reporters over on the south side found it. This woman, I'm not even going to show that. There have been more than 600,000 illegal immigrants have been released into the country under President Biden. 600,000. It's reported that over 20% of them have a criminal record. Think about that. Let's see here. What else do we have? Yeah, here's more of the IDs, passports. There's the guy with the IDs. Now, I love this. There's 2,300 hours, I think, Tom Fenton said, a video that hasn't been released from January 6th, and now it is starting to be released. Here it is. There's nobody at the door saying you guys got to leave. There's nobody being violent or whatever. It's just people walking through, videotaping. You know, it's these guys right here, like these guys, that I wonder about. They're not wearing anything mega or MAGA, however you want to put it, and they don't. They've got on the sunglasses, the face coverings, the hoodies. I mean, see these guys here. These are the ones that bother me. Because they came in a group and took off. There's lots of that going on here. Now, this is Eric Bolling, and I emailed him, or tweeted him today, about the aircraft that had left Del Rio. So we're going to cover that here for a minute.
Thousands of illegal immigrants camping under a bridge in Texas, in America. Thousands of people camping out under a bridge in America. Think about that. And more headed our way right now. We have no idea who they are. All we know is that they're from Haiti. So we don't know if they're sick. We don't know if they're criminals. We don't know much at all, if anything, about these people. We do hear, though, there's some 300 plus women who are pregnant there. And that makes sense, because if those women give birth right there, those Haitian babies become hyphenated, as in Haitian Americans, born with all the rights and benefits of America, like you and me, including the right to vote when they turn 18. I don't mean to be cold-hearted, and I'm most definitely not, but these people haven't earned that right to be American. These are illegal crossers. These Haitians aren't being persecuted. They aren't seeking safety from death threats. They're seeking a slice of the American pie. They're not political refugees. They're economic refugees. While we have laws admitting some seeking asylum from political persecution, we have no laws allowing foreigners in who simply are seeking an economic upgrade. So Haitians started amassing in Del Rio, Texas, and then more came, and more came. And the Biden administration ignored the developing crisis. The pictures were so bad, but the pictures went from bad to worse as thousands of Haitians called their friends, told them to turn on the TV and see how they weren't being sent back. So thousands and thousands more began to show up. Soon the situation got out of control, unmanageable. The border agents, and this is important, the border agents were being swamped, deluged with a tsunami of Haitian people pushing the wide open door to get into America. And still, no word from old Joe. He was busy riding his bike on a beach vacation. Wow. And Kamala, his vice president and the appointed border czar, well, she was too busy flipping a coin at a college football game. Priorities. These people's priorities are upside down. It's their private lives come first and America last. And so the situation spirals out of control, and the Biden administration is caught handcuffed by their own self-disinterest in the story. Oh, and today, 2 anonymous U.S. officials said thousands of these migrants have been released into the U.S. with nothing more than notices to appear in court in 2 months. You think that'll happen? And by the way, what happened to the planned announcement by the Biden administration that every migrant was to be deported, flown back to Haiti? Because that wasn't true either. Meanwhile, the mainstream media played right along with the administration, ignoring the growing crisis. This show right here has been airing the pictures from Del Rio, Texas for a week now, since there were just 1,000 or so migrants under that international bridge. But the pictures lacked the proper leftist narrative, so the left-wing media ignored the story. That is, until early yesterday when these pictures came out. Finally, the liberal media had something to dig their pointy little teeth into. They had a race angle, or so they thought. Look at those whips those racist border agents were using to lash the poor Haitians running for their lives. That was the narrative the left needed to run with, and boy, did they run with it. Joy Reid, one of the biggest race baiters in America, sorry, Al Sharpton, you've been replaced, predictably ran with a narrative they needed so badly, an angle so juicy they couldn't wait to vet it before running with it. Listen.
These horrifying images seem far more reminiscent of the Fugitive Slave Acts of the 1790s and 1850 and not 2021. Today, the chief of Border Patrol told reporters that these agents were most likely using a technique to control their horses, but would look into the matter. Wow, okay, thanks.
Yeah, they're called reins. It's called a tack. It's the gear from the horse's mouth to control the horse into the rider's hands. It's a tack. It's not a whip. But you see what's coming, right? Just wait. It gets better. Trying not to be late to the race party, creepy Chris Cuomo dug deep into his white denialism to add this to the narrative.
As an image, to me, it does smack of a bygone era of slavery.
Yeah, something should be smacked here. We'll get to that later. Not to be outdone, Biden had to weigh into the faux fray as well. While on CBS this morning, his spokesperson, Jen Psaki, was asked what the president had to say about the racist border agents whipping those poor illegals.
He also felt they were horrific and horrible. I don't know anyone who could watch that video and not have that emotion. Last night, our Secretary of Homeland Security put out a statement conveying there'd be an investigation, that he's going to send additional personnel. And I think it's important for people to know this is not who we are. That's not who the Biden-Harris administration is. And we're going to absolutely pursue that investigation and get to the bottom of what happened here.
Yep, horrific and horrible, right? How about you look into it first? As I've said, politics is downstream from culture, and on cue, sleaze politicians like Ilhan Omar jumped into the fray. The racist squad member, when she's not marrying her own brother, is always one of the first to weigh in if she can shout, if there's any opportunity to shout racist at a white person.
What we have seen was cruel, inhumane, and a violation of domestic laws and international laws. When it comes to our immigration policy, for so many years, cruelty has been very much embedded in it. There is obviously systematic racism at play here.
Obviously, right? Everything's systematic racism to her. How despicable of you, Miss Omar. You're an elected official. I expect lazy liberal journalists to rush to judge, but not someone who's supposed to represent her constituents. No, I would hope you'd at least wait to get the facts before spewing your misdirected hate. Had these buffoons done just the very least amount of research, or had they ever ridden a horse themselves, they'd have known those weren't whips. Those were horse reins, literally the leather straps the mounted border agents needed to control their horses. But they couldn't wait. Those people couldn't wait for that information. This was simply too good of an opportunity to change the narrative in their direction. They're hoping to change the narrative from what it really is, there's a Biden border crisis exploding on the southern border, to, see, the whole border situation is happening because those border agents are racist. These Democrats are so disgusting, they'll use race for everything, even when race isn't anywhere near the issue. And it turns out race had nothing to do with those pictures and that video. The mounted border agents were holding leather reins to control the horses, not leather whips to lash the illegal immigrants. Despicably wrong. By the way, the only reason those border agents needed horses was because the Biden border situation was getting worse and worse. Mounted cops are used everywhere and anywhere large crowds needed to control people. Most major cities have horses at the ready for crowd control. They're an effective way to control a group of people when you're severely outnumbered. And by the way, also, all mounts require reins to control the horses. Those are the straps in those pictures. So, sorry, Joy, Chrissy, and Jen, they're not whips. No one was being whipped. And you once again look like the real racists here. I got a suggestion. Next time you all plan to flip the script in your favor, just do the minimal amount of research. Crack a book and don't crack a whip, because it never happened, fools. Wonder if Cuomo, Joy, and Ilhan Omar will issue an apology, but I doubt it. Don't hold your breath, because that would require just a tiny, tiny bit of something they don't have. Character.
You just watched Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable.
There we go. Had to crack the whip. Took me a minute to get it right, but here, we'll try it again. There we go. All right, let's continue on down through here.
Right across the border from Del Rio, Texas. And Matt, you are literally watching as migrants are crossing the river behind you.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Jake. There's this rope that you can see that goes to a post on the other side here to Ciudad Acuña, Mexico, which is where we are, just across from the United States. And I'll just get out of the way here, and you can see, what we're seeing here over the last few hours that we've been here are people who are actually staying in the camp in Del Rio on the other side under that international bridge.
So let's bring in CNN's Matt Rivers. He's in Mexico right now, right across the border from Del Rio, Texas. And Matt, you are literally watching as migrants are crossing the river behind you.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Jake. There's this rope that you can...
Yeah, there's this rope, and there's this... Well, Anyway, we'll continue on. I digress. The military has now announced that the paint scheme that was approved for Air Force One by the previous administration may not be the paint scheme that we end up with on Air Force One. Kind of interesting how that happens. And this is Haitians that are let off at NGOs around the country. And they just take them off, give them an EBT card, a cell phone, and send them on their way. They then take them to a bus station in a major city and let them off at the bus station. That's what they're doing, folks. And we've also got Hunter's secret emails. The jab, FDA, with Israel, they're going to vaccinate the kids. I mean, it's insane here. Check this out from the briefing earlier today.
Reverend Al Sharpton is going to the border tomorrow to see what that looks like. If people are actually being able to get asylum, who's here? Reverend Al Sharpton is...
Oh, yeah, Sharpton. Let's see. I love this. U2 landed, bounced so well that the wingtips never even touched. Boys are getting better as they do their job there. Let's see here. I loved it. So, children 17 and younger that have died from COVID-19 is 214, but you just just in the city of Chicago, 312 have been shot. Thought that was kind of interesting there. What was the other I had for you here? Oh, yeah, they're coming right across the border fence. That works good there, Donald. Here we go.
How do we make the shit sound low-key? Because when the shit happens, like, why do we make the shit sound low-key tight? And before you judge what I'm saying, just listen. Just shut the fuck up and listen. We make it sound tight just by the language that we use. Like, when somebody go shoot some shit up, what we call them, an active shooter. I don't know about you, but that shit rolls off the tongue a little bit too well. Yeah. It sounds kind of tight, you know what I mean? Like, if it wasn't already taken, active shooter would be my rap name. I shit you not. It sounds too cool, and it's low-key insulting to the rest of us. And people don't even see it. The media doesn't even see it. When you call somebody an active shooter, it implies that the rest of us are just inactive.
Not going to waste your time with DHS. Here, check this out.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Satterfield, my questions will be for you. Last week, the Wall Street Journal ran a damning article entitled "Facebook Knows Instagram is Toxic for Teen Girls," company documents show. The tagline below it was, quote, "Its own in-depth research shows a significant teen mental health issue that Facebook plays down in public." I know about this article because my wife, Heidi, who reads the Journal every day, said, "You need to read this article now." I read it word for word. All of us know that these products are addictive and that companies like Facebook design them in this way in order to maximize addiction, to capture eyeballs, which captures data, which is then used to sell advertising. But for years, Facebook has been publicly insisting that its products aren't harmful, and in particular that they're not harming teenagers. We now know that was a lie. Facebook knew that its products, and specifically Instagram, was destroying the lives of far too many teenage girls. Facebook knew this because Facebook conducted its own studies into how Instagram affected young users and found that Instagram is harmful to a sizable percentage of them. In fact, a slide from 2019 summarizing this research said, quote, "We make body image issues worse for 1 in 3 teen girls." Another Facebook slide said, quote, "Teens blame Instagram for increases in the rate of anxiety and depression." Another slide said, quote, "Teens who struggle with mental health say Instagram makes it worse." And most egregiously, one presentation said that among teens who reported suicidal thoughts, 13% of British users and 6% of Americans users traced their desire to kill themselves to Instagram. This should have made Facebook stop dead in its tracks and ask what in the hell you were doing. Instead, Facebook publicly downplayed the risk to young users and committed to push to make sure more at-risk teenage girls used Instagram, because more users, including more teenagers, means more money, whatever the human cost. This is appalling. The American people deserve a thorough investigation into Facebook's willingness and eagerness to mislead the public about the risks of their own products. The Wall Street Journal article states that the research has been reviewed by top Facebook executives and was cited in a presentation given to Mark Zuckerberg. Mr. Satterfield, is this accurate? Did Mark Zuckerberg have personal knowledge of this Facebook research?
Senator, I don't know the answer to that question, but to your other points, I would strongly disagree with the notion that our products are unsafe. I strongly believe they are safe.
Well, let me ask you, did you have knowledge of this research, Mr. Satterfield?
I'm sorry, Senator, I've read the Wall Street Journal article.
Did you have knowledge of it before the Wall Street Journal article?
Senator, I'm generally aware that we do research in our products.
Are you familiar with this research?
I wasn't familiar with this research outside of the context of the Journal article, no.
So wait a second. Your title is Vice President of Privacy and Public Policy, and you had no idea about Facebook's own research showing that you're violating the privacy and destroying the lives of teenage girls? You didn't know about it? Is that what you're testifying today?
Senator, we're a large company. We have a lot of teams working on a lot of different issues. I don't work on these issues, safety and
So
welfare.
you didn't know about it?
I didn't. Other people did. We're happy to.
And you have
connect.
zero knowledge whether Mark Zuckerberg knew about it or not?
Senator, I don't know that.
You knew you were coming to testify in this hearing. I'm going to guess you read the Journal article before you showed up to testify?
Senator, I came here to testify on data issues.
Did you read the Journal article before you showed up to testify?
Senator, yes, I've read the Journal articles.
Okay, and presumably you prepared for today's testimony, yes?
Yes, Senator, I prepared.
And did that preparation involve inquiring whether the Wall Street Journal was accurate when it said Mark Zuckerberg was aware of this research?
Senator, I can't get into the issues that we discussed during prep with my lawyers.
Why not? You're here testifying on behalf of Facebook. I'm asking whether you inquired whether the Journal was right that Zuckerberg knew about this research. Did you inquire about it, or did you remain willfully blind and not want to know if Zuckerberg knew about it?
Senator, respectfully, I'm here to testify about data and antitrust issues. I don't work on these issues. I'm happy to put
Again, you're the Vice President of Privacy and Public Policy, and so putting in place policies that result in more teen suicides, that does not fall within your purview?
Senator, I don't agree with that characterization. I work on privacy.
Okay, well, let's take the specifics of Facebook's research. I read a quote a minute ago. Quote, "We make body image issues worse."
All right, now here is the guy from the hatchet attack in New York. I actually showed you that on the show, where this guy came in and with a hatchet and attacked another man, killing him. He was released, okay, and had to be rearrested on another charge. I mean, it's absolutely insane that the guy kills somebody with a hatchet and they release him on his own recognizance. Actually, let me get back. So this is what happens when you tell a Turkish man that he has to get the vaccine. He takes his excavator and takes out the fleet of dump trucks that the company has. So that's what happens when you tell somebody that you have to get the jab in Turkey. They level your trucks. Right now, thought this was great. All 39 of the bus drivers and monitors in Oswego, Illinois School District 308 quit yesterday in defiance of the shot mandate. Every single one of their bus drivers in the 308th district quit. Let's see here. Here you go. I wanted you guys to see this. So they're picking them up at the border, putting them on these buses, and taking them to downtown areas and dropping them off. So they just put them on the bus. There's no jab. There's no medical. There's no background check. There's no criminal history check. There is no supporting agency. They just put them on the buses, hauled them into major cities, and and then they just drop them off. And they give them a piece of paper, and they're left at the bus station. So in McAllen, Texas, the charity helps migrants after they are processed, providing food, shelter, and sometimes transportation. The issue is that once they leave the McAllen Catholic Center and they're sent off to whatever city that they're going to be sent to, well, when they get there, there's nothing there for them. They just literally drop them off in the middle of the bus parking lot. And that's what they do. So somebody's going to have to crack the whip sooner or later to get this straightened out. Now, thought this was interesting. A retired LA sheriff's detective was found in his own freezer. And his relative didn't really want to talk about it. Let's see. Silly Millie. Here we go. Watching huge groups of construction workers protesting against forced vaccinations, blocking highways in Melbourne. So, indeed, the folks down in Melbourne are, cracking the whip on their government, saying, we're not going to take it anymore. You're not going to force us to take this. And people are waking up. People are understanding what's going on. People see the writing on the wall. Here we go.
I have a couple more minutes. I want to play the soundbite for you. This happened. It just kind of blew us away. Senator Schumer, the Senate Majority Leader of your body, has decided that this whole thing at the border is Trump's fault. Take a listen to this soundbite.
I urge President Biden and Secretary Mayorkas to immediately put a stop to these expulsions and to end this Title 42 policy at our southern border. That we cannot continue these hateful and xenophobic Trump policies that disregard our refugee laws.
So I guess what he's saying is let anyone come. Just let them come on in, open the door. Your thoughts?
That's insanity. Having an open border, there's polling that showed that over 700 million people would come tomorrow. The chaos of an open border, we're seeing a little bit of that now, or a lot of that. With you look at the 10,000 Haitians underneath a bridge wanting to come in. So no, the idea that that's somehow xenophobic or racist, I'm all for legal immigration. In fact, I would increase legal immigration, but I would have zero illegal immigration. They all ought to go back, send them all back. Don't let one of them in illegally. Apply to come to our country in a normal fashion. We'll welcome you, but illegally, we should have zero tolerance.
Senator, any doubt in your mind that the plan for Democrats, Schumer, leader of the Senate, and others, Pelosi, et cetera, wants these people to be able to come in because, and they tried to sneak this in. They tried to sneak this in the $3.5 trillion funding budget to get some sort of path to citizenship and therefore a path to Democrat votes. It feels to me like they're looking for millions of free Democrat votes.
Yeah, I think Chuck Schumer, when he talks about completely open borders, is looking over his shoulder and seeing AOC right behind him, more radical than he can possibly imagine. So he has to meet her on her own ground. She said also that no one should be deported. But that is a crazy notion. It will lead to more people coming. Already, tens of thousands of people are coming because they perceive the Biden administration as being weak on the border. Senator Johnson asked the question today, 1.3 million people have been apprehended. Where are they? How many of them were dispersed within the country? And see, the worry is that maybe over half of these people have just simply been sent places in our country and said, hey, please come back and appear in court a couple months from now, and none of them ever will. So really, we need to know what happened to the 1.3 million that were apprehended. Have they been sent home? How many were sent home? How many were dispersed into our country? Mayorkas wouldn't answer the question today, said he didn't know. He's in charge and he doesn't know. That's a problem.
Yeah, Senator, I think I saw an interview with I believe it was Mayorkas or someone else, another Democrat, and they said, yeah, 300 people sent 300 people for 15,000 at the border. They sent a plane or two loads of people back to Haiti. What are we doing with the other tens of thousands, et cetera? Senator Rand Paul, always good. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
You just watched Newsmax.
Yes, you did just watch that, and you also just watched this broadcast. Here we go. Romania, the Romanian government has closed all vaccine centers because 70% of the citizens won't get the jab. So coercion didn't work. Look at that. They have closed them down. So, yeah, it's getting crazy with what they're trying to do. And here is the lieutenant governor. And the lieutenant governor did have his video. I was trying to get that. Also wanted to show you this. This is the new vision system for the military. I only came up with this 30 years ago. It's still kind of interesting why they are just now getting this with all the sensors here. So you got thermal, vision, stereoscopic NVG. So, so basically it's thermal, color, and IR. That's basically what it amounts to, with a laser rangefinder and a few other things. So I think that's going to do it for this evening, other than this kid on a drone of his own. Yeah, that's the big stuff I had for you guys. I think everything else was just small stuff. Love this one. All right. So, folks, we're going to call it a day. Frozen, I'm going to get with you in a minute on the emergency frequency. So, other than that, I think we are good for the day. Here you go. In West Virginia, when you're on house arrest and you need a beer. So with that, we're going to call it a day, folks. Let me get something else here for you. Answering your questions if you got any here. All right, so tomorrow night, just so you guys are aware, we will be on KLW World News 2, supposedly, if YouTube holds to their word of saying that it's only going to take 24 hours to get us moved over. Yeah, I hope I feel better too. That's I just got up. I didn't sleep good last night, and then I got up this morning and thought I was going to do something. We did the first broadcast there on this platform of the news briefing from the White House, and like halfway through it, I'm almost passing out in my chair going, God, I'm tired. So I went in and went to bed, and then when the wife got home at 6:30, the dog woke me up yet again, and yeah, I heard that, Frozen. That's what I want to talk to you, so we can get the whole story out. I was hearing you over Zello in the middle of the show and couldn't pay attention to what you were saying because there was something else showing. So, because I had the network up in the middle of the show, I was going to show you guys the map. In fact, I still will here. I can bring that up. Here, let me find it. Did I close it out? Oh, I must have. Let me get it back up here for you guys. Oh, you can hear cowbelling in the background. So let's see if this comes open. Come on. There we go. Map. Let me put that up here on another screen for you guys. And let me do some adjusting. And get. You swap over to that. Ta-da. And let me get you guys back up here. Yeah, I know a lot of West Virginia jokes. Yeah, cowbells and whips. You got that right. The cowbell is the every time I get a notification on the news network, and the whips, well, that's just for cracking the whip. Let's see here. So let me. All right. So as you can see, we're like infesting the Northeast. I can't believe how many people have joined up in the Northeast. I mean, look at this around New York, up in Boston, and over in Nantucket, Long Island, northern New York State, in and around Albany, Scranton, Hershey, Pennsylvania, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, north of Philly, Baltimore, Washington area, throughout Virginia here, folks down in Raleigh. I mean, we're just taking over Dayton, Indianapolis, Chicago, one in Detroit already. I got friends in Detroit. I used to work with Detroit SWAT up there. Train some of those guys. Of course, our friends in Toronto and Ottawa. And then going across the top, we've still got our friend here, as well as up in Edmonton, out in Vancouver, Seattle. Portland's got 3 now. Boise's got 2. Sacramento's got, oh my God, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We got 7 folks out around Sacramento, San Francisco area. That might call for a repeater in here somewhere. Los Angeles too. I'm shocked at how many folks we've got out in Los Angeles. Thanks for joining us. And Phoenix is coming on the map, and we've got another one in Phoenix that's actually not on the map yet. 2 in Vegas, around Pagosa Springs, New Mexico, and then Texas is coming on strong. Bunch around Dallas, Fort Worth, Austin, Houston area, Arkansas, Florida here. I mean, we got them, all the corners of Florida pretty much buttoned up except for out here in the Panhandle. Let's see here. So yeah, lots of folks have signed up. Same thing, Cincinnati, Columbus, St. Louis, Kansas, Oklahoma City. So yeah, we're popping up everywhere around Huntsville, Knoxville, you name it, we're going everywhere. Plus we still got our friends over in the UK, King Kong, as well as our friend down in Australia. Why didn't he pop up? Interesting. As well as Argentina. So, and Aloha, Hawaii. So, yeah, we're taking over. Yeah, we're going to work on that. I was on the phone with the governor's office this afternoon, so we'll see what they do there. Well, but we'll get more up there. We'll get you some other people up there. Yes, and as well as knowledge in numbers. That's the amount of information you guys provide every day, and I try to put out. It's unbelievable because I gather from you guys and gather from other sources, and then try to put stuff up on Twitter as well as do our shows. So now I will tell you, next Tuesday night I have a meeting at the fire department. So I will not be doing a show on Tuesday night of next week. But other than that, we shouldn't have any issues on being on the air every night. So anyway, that is going to do it for tonight. I want to thank everybody for being here, and And we'll give Frozen a call here in just a minute. So thanks for joining us. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow.